Good day, everybody. Welcome to our first interview that we are sending to you here on the PER course, or the Baseline Assessment and Costing Analysis course. With me today is Mbali Buthelezi. She was one of our first students, and she will talk a little bit about her experience of doing the course. But before she starts, let me ask her about her background. Mbali, tell me a bit about where you are from and how you ended up in Treasury and what you've done here in Treasury.
I joined the Treasury in 2013, doing my internship here, and made my way through the ranks. And I'm now a senior budget analyst working with basic education, but the provincial sphere. And yeah, I'm in public finance, and that's how I got to do this very interesting course.
You were one of our star students in the course. I really have to congratulate you.
Thank you.
But tell me a little bit about your experience of this course. How did you find the course, and what did you end up understanding and knowing about your workspace after the course?
Well, I must say the course is intense, but I mean intense in a good way, but it's definitely worth your while. It really has enhanced the way that I do my own work as a budget analyst. We do a lot of budget analysis and policy analysis, and with that comes a lot of research projects as well. So the principles that I've learned from the course I've really been able to apply in the work that I do in the various projects that I undertake. So it's definitely worth doing. And I mean, different things like how I've learned better understood rather the logic behind policy development and policy design through things like institutional analysis, where it helped me better understand the sector that I work in, as well as how the policy that I was analyzing fits into the bigger scheme of things. So doing things like crafting the logical framework, or rather the theory of change, which basically looked at what theory says the program needs to do in order for the change that's desired to take place. And most importantly, what I learned is the costing, which I think a lot of the time policymakers tend to either oversee or overlook, which is very crucial when you are designing and developing policy, because that's why you find yourselves with a Lamborghini policy, yet you're confronted with the Chevrolet Spark budget. So yeah, I think those are the crucial things that I learned through the different modules of the course.
Oh, I like that a lot. I mean, I often say that in South Africa we end up with driving Porsches in the mountains of Lesotho when you need a Land Rover.
Definitely.
Let's get appropriate funding that we can afford and that we can really promise, and then fulfill those policy obligations.
Yeah.
I want to just pause a little bit and say that you speak about doing some of the work before the costing, the institutional analysis and the type of like indicator frameworks, the logical framework. As a financial person, as a numbers person, how did you find that part of the course? What was that like for you? Was it new knowledge?
I would say it's knowledge that I had, but it was better clarified through the course, especially how I've gotten to better understand the linkages in the system. So basically how policy should influence expenditure and not the other way around, as well as there must be performance information that tracks how well the policy objectives are being achieved and what the money is actually buying. So those are elements that I learned through the course that I definitely had an understanding of, but they were better clarified in the course.
So in a way, the latent information in your head was like pulled out by this course and given structure and given methodologies for you to work with. I like hearing that. That's good for me. When we talk a bit about the costing and the expenditure analysis side, which looks daunting when you start, just give a bit of advice and experience on that.
So what I would say is, so for example, if I'm trying to link it to the EPR that I did, or the expenditure performance review that I did, I would say my advice is to look at areas that you're either passionate on, or an area that is a sector priority, or even an area that receives a large chunk of the budget, which for me ticked all those boxes, and hence I went for the topic that I decided to go for, which was early childhood development. I specifically looked at grade R and public expenditure towards the expansion of grade R, which is a sector priority as well. I also looked at how the expenditure towards this expansion is aligned to the policy objectives. And I think what is very important when you're undertaking this course and writing the report is to plan ahead. because you don't want to find yourself now you're looking and scrambling for data where it's something that you would have been able to plan ahead for and start collecting and collating, which for me was a challenge, I must say, because sometimes it's about how the data has been captured in the different provinces, for example. So it's very important to plan ahead, and where you don't understand, I would definitely recommend that you ask. So for example, with us, we were very lucky to have facilitators that are knowledgeable on the different modules of the course, and it really helped make my work a bit easier as well.
No, that's definitely true. I mean, to ask when you're not on top of something. Yes. You worked very closely with Amanda Jitsing, I believe, and she's going to be on this course again.
Oh, so great. Those ones are lucky they're going to have Amanda.
Yeah, so that will definitely happen there for them as well. Do you think that you were able to now work differently after doing this course? Is there something that you took back into your workspace?
Yes. Again, my buzzword is costing. Costing. I cannot emphasize that enough, because you find that that's why sometimes policy implementation becomes a huge challenge in government, because we not fail but lack to actually consider that step as part of a critical element when we're designing policy, because there's different scenarios of costing that you can actually undertake, which has helped me improve the work I do when I provide support to the department that I work with, that different scenarios lead to different outcomes, and you need to know what your policy objectives are and cost them accordingly.
Yes. Would you recommend that it's Treasury people that do this course? How do you feel about bringing in departmental officials as well? What do you see as their role in a course like this?
I would definitely think everyone really should be a part of this course, especially the departments. And why I'm saying especially the departments is because they're the ones that actually do the policy designs. They're the ones that do the program design. So having all these different modules at the background and the principles of these modules will really help them as well better understand policy as a whole and how it just fits into the bigger picture, and things like costing and where to find savings and trade-offs are some of the elements that I've learned through the course. So I would really think it would add value for the departments to also take part.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mbali. This is Mbali Buthelezi, as you know from the beginning. We will also be sending you the essay that Mbali wrote, the little performance and expenditure report, the mini dissertation that she did, in the next letter that we are sending you. So look forward to that as well. Goodbye.